Hi everyone. So 2 weeks ago I did an update on the Potted Vandas, and I am doing a further update because there are progresses which I want to bring to your attention. First, I'll show you why this pot is full of plants now. That's because I lifted the plant up and added more into them. These are similar types which were in separate pots. I just needed to get some hang on to their care, and them being in close proximate to each other make it very easy for me to water and fertilize. And also, this is my Arthon Red, which was blooming at the time of the initial repotting video, so I had to wait until the spike is done. However, I took off the spike very early on and potted this. Okay, what are these progresses which I wanted to show you? First is these two spikes which are going very strong. Okay, normally when this was on the Vanda basket, this would only bloom for a few days, even less than a week. The blooms would fall off. But now, can you see, both spikes are still going very strong even after 2 weeks, and there is a third spike also coming out. Okay, and I am really happy because the plant is showing its strength, and I have never had a third spike before, even though this has been blooming every month with double spikes. So that is one reason I want to prove to you that potting up a very few rooted Vanda, that is again with few roots, would help it furthermore. And none of these Vandas I have been experiencing any leaf losses. Other than what was initially burnt, none of them got burnt either. That was burnt before repotting. And the second update which I want to show you is of my Vanda Stylist Pinky. The cross is on the tag. It's a Neophanetia falcata cross-state Rinker Stylist Gigantea Red, but this is called a Vanda Stylist Pinky. You'll see a picture now. And this is a maiden blooming. It already has some active roots going on for the plant too. Okay. So that's the second update, second progress of this plant. On to the right side, I hope you can see there is a spike which stopped, right? And that stopped while this was in the Vanda basket. Even previous to that, there were double spikes from bottom which stopped. So therefore, I know there was obviously a humidity issue. Okay, these miniature Vanda hybrids, they need more moisture around them. And things seem to be fine. I almost forgot this. These are two cakeys of the Vanda Benz fragrance. I've been having a lot of keikis and I've been removing them, so I potted those up too. But mind you, these are normal vandas, so they are bound to get huge, and then I will have to keep on changing the pot. But when it comes to Ascocenda hybrids, Miniatum hybrids, and other Vanda hybrids or miniatures, potting up would really do the best for these types of orchids. I'll recap. There are 2 more videos which you can look into if you are thinking about repotting one or more of your vandas which has a stagnant growth or has never bloomed for you. But the vanda has to have very low amounts of roots, because there's a tendency once you pot it, no matter how airy it would be, the roots would definitely go through a root rot if there are too many roots. And secondly, again, your media has to be very airy and inorganic, the better. I have placed these organic fern root pieces on top just to keep more moisture, to be able to have a better moisture retaining environment around it. And even though the trays are empty now, normally these are full and the trays are of clay, so choosing plastic pots, I took measures to keep them very cool, with clay being very cool and with water always, so the humidity will be always very high, even though we are experiencing very high lighting situation, very heaty climate. These will retain more moisture and high humidity, and there will not be any drawback. So even when you pot, when you see these aerial roots, let me show you. If the aerial roots continue to elongate, which means they are fine. And the final point therefore being, you should have an active growth mode in your plant, whether it's roots or leaves, for you to pot up a vanda also. I just wanted to do this short video just to clarify and summarize and give you the further updates on these vandas. One final thing I need to tell you: once you pot them with less roots and in airy media, keep it hydrated, right, and high with humidity. You can use a high phosphorus fertilizer simultaneously with a high nitrogen fertilizer every 4 days until a month, okay, and even without spraying a high potassium fertilizer, they might bloom, right? You know, phosphorus is for roots, and there are other pluses when you spray phosphorus also, but mainly for roots in my opinion. And nitrogen is for leaves, the greenness, and potassium is for flowering. So in NPK, P has to be high if you're thinking of choosing a high phosphorus fertilizer. N has to be high if you're thinking of choosing a fertilizer of high nitrogen, and K has to be high if you are choosing a fertilizer for blooming, right? But what I'm advising you to do is to spray high phosphorus fertilizer today, and from counting tomorrow on the fourth day spray the nitrogen fertilizer, and go on at least, even if not a month, at least 2 weeks to do that. Then your plant will be settled in your pot, whether it's plastic or clay or ceramic. I would one final point which I will be giving. I swear this is the final point. Make sure or try as much as possible to select a ceramic pot or a clay pot, and not a ceramic pot or a plastic pot and not a clay pot, because clay would wick out moisture very quickly. Clay is good to it will obviously anyway keep the plant cool, but roots might dry off quickly when it comes to different types of clays, right? Even I have some pots which I have removed some of my phalaenopsis from, due to its extreme wicking or ability, because of the extreme porousness in the material. So that's it from me about the updates on these vandas, and this will be covered again once my Vanda Stylist Pinky blooms, right? Wish me luck. Thank you guys. Bye bye.